Welcome to Real Talk with Shereitta, the show that brings you the voices of all things self-improvement and the entrepreneurship grind. Hey, we're going to talk about working from home, which most of us are doing right now, especially since COVID-19 has been here. It has forced a lot of us to transition to working from home. And working from home, it sounds like a dream to many people, right? I mean, you can't beat the commute. But once people start working from home, this illusion begins to fade. They find it hard to stay productive and they miss the social interaction with their colleagues from work. So if you're struggling right now to work from home, then I'm going to drop a few tips to help you stay productive. Whether you're looking for a new marketing channel, you have a message you want to share with the world, or you just think it'll be fun to have your own talk show, podcasting is an easy, inexpensive, and fun way to expand your reach online. I'm telling you, Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your first recording. So listen, podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, and the team at Buzzsprout is passionate about helping you succeed. So join me and over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. You'll also get a great looking podcast website, audio players that you can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening to you, tools to promote your episodes, and more. So following the link in the show notes, it lets Buzzsprout know that I sent you and gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan. And it also helps support my show. So the first thing you always want to do is make sure that you create a dedicated workspace. You don't need a home office. If you live in a condo or a small house or apartment, you likely couldn't have one anyway, unless you want to invest in buying like a little she or he-man shed. So with that said, you should dedicate whatever area you can as your workplace inside your home. You want to find somewhere relatively quiet and comfortable, and let the other people know inside your household about it so they can be considerate during your work hours, because you don't want to be working on something and then you get a knock on the door from the kids, a cousin, aunt, whatever family member. So make sure that everybody knows what your working hours are so that way they're considerate of your time. Next, you'll want to set healthy boundaries with your loved ones. The more that you talk to them and you're open about it, the more that everybody's on one page. So you always want to make sure that your friends and your family know when you are working. And you should also inform them that you don't want to be disturbed during those work hours. An emergency is one thing, but someone asking you where to find the milk or where you put a piece of paper is the type of distraction you need to squash right away. And embrace your productive hours. You'll quickly figure out when you get your best work done, that's when you're most productive. And once you do, double down on those times. If you're a morning person, consider getting up a bit earlier. If you get your best work done late at night, adjust your routine accordingly to what works best for you. And adopt a work first mindset. What I mean by that is, first off, I want to make this clear that this doesn't mean that you put your work above everything else. That's a definite no-no. What it means is that when you plan your day, you plan it around your work. So you have some errands to do, okay, fine. You just make sure that you get a couple of pressing work tasks done first, like those important things. You get that out of the way first and plan and schedule your day accordingly. And learn how to disconnect. A lot of times, and I find myself doing it sometimes too, and this is why I wanted to drop this tip, because I find myself, when I learn to disconnect, it allows me time to reset and figure out new ways to do things, because sometimes we get stuck when we don't disconnect from things. You're so focused on completing a project or getting something done that you don't disconnect from that work. And working from home often blurs the lines between work and rest. So you need to be able to disconnect when your work day is over, or you'll never feel rested. You'll catch like a burnout. So there is nothing wrong with working, long hours and being dedicated to what you do. But when you do feel the need to get away from it all, you'll need to learn new ways to do that versus shutting down. Next, you're gonna want to find a routine that works for you. If you follow me on most of my social media pages, when I'm leaving tips or I'm talking about certain things or highlighting an article, I always put in capital letters you and your, because that's what you need to focus on, you and your. A lot of times we focus on what other people are doing in their businesses and how she's doing this or how he's doing that, when your main focus needs to be on you and your. It's okay to get creative ideas and, being intrigued by what others are doing, but never lose the focus of you and what you're doing and what works for you. So your routines are a great way to stay productive and get things done almost mindlessly. Creating and fostering these routines while you work from home is a great way to stay on track. And by creating a morning routine for when you first get up, you create a routine for when you're done with your working hours. Or create a routine for when you are done with work or whatever your goal is. Whatever you're doing, just create a routine for it. Any actions you repeat regularly, you'll see how they quickly become like a part of your routine. It won't be so daunting. It's like clockwork, and you'll be more hyped, more happy about just getting up and doing it. And find ways to stay social, besides Facebook and social media. Even the most introverted of us need a bit of social interaction, right? Because I know for me, working from home for over the last 10 years, sometimes it does feel a little lonely at times. So to ensure that I take the steps to stay connected with my social circle, I do things like Zoom calls, FaceTime, or we do group chats, whatever the case may be. And you can also schedule more in-person meetups, not a lot or a huge group of people, of course, because of COVID, but you can do some one-on-one times as you see fit or as you see comfortable. But don't forget about the technology. Like I said, apps like Skype or Zoom, it makes staying connected so much easier than ever. Like, you can pretty much connect with anybody. And make sure you stay active. When you work from home, you lose out on a lot of your day-to-day activity. It might not seem like a big difference, but it does add up over the long run. So you may need to increase like your exercise load or begin exercising if you haven't been. I know over the past couple months, myself, I've been trying to exercise, but it hasn't been really going as I planned. Like, I'll start one day and then like the next day my thighs and my legs hurt so bad, it's like I just give up. But I gotta stop doing that and see through. It's not that I need the exercise, but it's more so, I'm getting older now. Your girl's 38, so I'm like 2 years away from 40, and I want to stay as healthy as possible. So like I said, increase your exercise load, or if you haven't, just start and see what works for you. And don't forget about personal grooming. I always talk about that too. Your appearance. Your appearance is everything. Even if we're sitting at home, working from home, the way that you wake up and you show up to your desk or to your office space, that dictates how your day is going to go too. So we all know it's easy to slip into a routine where you wake up, you pour a cup of coffee. If you drink coffee, you get your morning juice or breakfast, and then you shuffle over to your computer for the day. But some people will tell you to prepare for working from home like you were going in. And I must say that that's not bad advice at all. And it might be overkill But you should know, however, it's good health and it's just good hygiene. If you feel good, you look good, you produce good, you work good, like the turnout, the result is better. So ensure that your clothes, your body is clean at least. And then, like I said, it's good on your health and it's good on your spirit. And just going over a couple of things that we talked about throughout this quick or short podcast. I did say and promise I will leave 3 steps that you can take action on now. So what you want to do is designate a workspace in your home. If you're in a panic and you're just starting out with your business, you don't have to go and find all that money to rent out an office space or a building right now. Start in steps. Do what works best for you. Designate a workspace in your home. Make that do what it does. Make do with what you have. The goal here isn't to create a lavish private office or this lush spot. It's just an area conducive to being productive. That's the goal. And step number 2 is to let your friends and family know your working hours. This way, it can help you to avoid distractions before they even become a problem. It'll eliminate so many things. Be sure to check out my website, theselfimprovementqueen.com. If you found value in today's show, make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend, and y'all stay tuned and stay live with Real Talk with Shereitta.